Hello, everybody.
Hi there.
We started a conversation, and I said to Lex, I was like, well, should we do our recording? Because, and Lex was like, well, let's do it tomorrow. And then we started talking, and I'm kind of like, well, let's just turn on the recorder.
As often Chris and I do, sort of just start talking.
Yeah. And so I think what's coming to mind is that at this particular time, we've seen a lot of people over just the short amount of time, and
The past couple of days.
yeah, and it's been really moving, I think, for me to feel the love from our friends. I mean, it's not, and that might sound weird. I mean, because it's not like, oh, well, I didn't feel it before, but I think understanding and hearing it is different, because I think people express it differently when they think that they're not going to see you for a little bit of time. Does that make sense?
I think that's exactly it. It's like we have wonderful, wonderful friends here, and we always feel love and gratitude towards them and from them equally. But then when you put in the mix, soon we will not be living here amongst you in your day-to-day lives, and you won't be in our day-to-day lives, then that just definitely adds sort of a
different dimension,
a different dynamic, a sort of a poignancy, I think, from my perspective. It is definitely, kind of walking through the past week or two, understanding that there will be a large missing. And I'm excited about the move, and I can't wait to be back with our friends in Seattle, and all of those things are still very true. But yeah, there was a missing I felt already when I went to join Ava, my dear friend Ava, for lunch a couple of days ago on Friday at the Ferry Building, and taking Bart and walking. It was this beautiful sunny day, and walking to the Ferry Building, and everything just seemed to have that sort of patina of,
I think,
poignancy.
Yeah, I think, I would say it as, and it's funny because I would say it as a last, but it's not a last. That is the dichotomy.
A last?
A last.
Oh, last. Yes. Sorry.
There's my accent going in. But it's like the dichotomy of it is that it's the last, but it's not the last, because we will be back.
But we will be back always as visitors and not as residents. So that's a little bit of a difference.
But you're getting caught up in the details of it.
As you often tell me that I am.
I guess my point is, it's not as a visitor or as a dweller in the city. It's more like, this is not the last of anything, and oh wow, now this is going to expand into something else. Because if you think about it, it is just a moment in time that we've had all of these experiences, and each moment in time is very different. And the experience is very different. And when we come back, or, when I come back, or when you come back, it'll be from a different perspective. It's kind of like the kaleidoscope that I talked about in one of our other episodes. But, it's just a little tilt, it's just a little turn, but it doesn't make it any less rich. For me, I think it just makes it a different experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it'll be a different experience. Definitely. I mean, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I know, it's a little sad. It's sad. It's sad because I think
there will be a missing.
But
for me, I mean, we're different. But.
I'm not saying I won't miss it. I mean, what it reminds me of is what we talked about earlier, is that it reminds me very much of when we left Seattle to move here.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, one of the hardest things that I have done. I think it was easier to move other places, but we had we had so many friends there, and
very rich relationships.
And I think see, the difference there is that I think we thought we were coming back sooner.
Sooner than 10 years. Yeah. Yes.
We certainly did not anticipate that it would be. Oh my God! I mean, I'm looking at the calendar, and I'm kind of like, okay, it's over 10 years now.
A decade later, we're making our return tour to Seattle.
So I think
I kind of love it, though. I mean, I really do. I appreciate the journey.
So I think it made it maybe a little less of a sting for me, because I was like, oh, well, we'll be back in a couple years, right? Here, I don't know that's, I mean, we're not coming back in a couple of years, right? I mean, the plan is...
Well, the plan is not to move here again.
The plan is...
here again.
Yeah, the plan is not to move here again. And so then I think it becomes a little bit more poignant, because it's not...
Yeah, we won't ever see it again as people who live here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But funny enough, and I'll just lighten it up a little bit, because, we go into the valley, but then, like in my music journeys, we take you down, but then we come back up. So just in that little segment, I just totally forgot what I was going to say. But I think it was going to be something... Yeah, that's classic, Chris. Classic. But I think it was something to do with, although we may not be coming back here to move, there it is. Bam, I got it.
Okay.
So many people have said to us, oh, well, I'll just see you because I'm up in Seattle every couple months or every year or something. So it's almost as if they're moving with us.
Yeah.
Follow me?
Yeah.
So
we'll see them just as much as we do now. It'll just be at a different house.
I think it will be at a different house.
In a different town, at a different restaurant, in a different bar.
I mean,
that's true.
We have talked about a Music Sunday, perhaps simulcast, and
simulcast.
It's a simulcast from an undisclosed location.
I love it.
Location, but already
tune in on the Jumbotron for the simulcast.
Already, I've got folks up in Seattle,
Washington,
that want to do Japanese garden. We're looking at the screenshots on our.
On
Never
the television,
mind.
Anyway, it came up to Seattle, Washington.
But we're already, I think, going to be doing a little housewarming party to bring all of our friends together again once we get to Seattle and unpack the boxes. I'm not looking forward to unpacking.
I'll manage it, no problem.
But
I do with each move.
But
what I do. It's okay.
Lex is going to manage the boxes, thank God.
I like to pack and unpack, so.
But I guess, I think I'm definitely excited about this move. And I think that we'll see all of the people that we have here very soon.
Yes.
And they now have a place to visit in the Pacific Northwest, and an excuse to go on a vacation. So to all those people that we know here in San Francisco and whose lives we've had the fortune to be a part of. I want to say thank you, and I love you all. And, we will see you. I will see you soon.
I hope to see you soon as well. Perhaps not as soon as Chris will see you, but soon.
Yes, I already have plans to be back down here, and Lex will definitely come back down. But it's been a great decade here, and we're looking forward to
continuing our adventure.
Yeah, and moving back into our house in Seattle. So on that note, I think that's all we have to say.
Yeah, nice talking to you. We have thought there is a possibility, although it's not for certain, that we will do a podcast on the road.
Oh, yes. I want to do a podcast on the road because I think that is kind of fun. And then maybe we stop into a little diner, and then we could pull up a stool with a Mary Jane or something. Mary Jo.
What's a Mary Jane?
Like a person that's in the bar.
Oh, find an anonymous anonymous participant.
Yeah. Yeah, oh. And then we do just an interview, just by the roadside.
We'll see how far we get with that.
We're expanding the podcast. It could be, it's still going to be what it is, but obviously not as we fall asleep because we're going to be on the road, and that would be dangerous. So
safety third,
safety last. Yeah. So on that note, we will say good night.
Good night.
Good night.